Welcome to the Model Way, where we inspire, we motivate, and we teach both new and seasoned models. My name is Lenny Wheeler. I am your host. Please like and subscribe to our channel before we get started. I got a wonderful show. We are airing on the iHeartRadio. We're airing on Apple Podcasts. We are also airing on Spotify, and not to mention YouTube. I've got a great guest today. She's a good friend of mine, and she's been in this business for a little bit, and she's got a little bit of things to talk about today. And I'm super happy to have her here. So, guys, I want to please welcome Miss Lavonya Swan, and she is actually a dynamic South Indian American model, actress, dancer, educator, and advocate who brings culture. She brings charisma and purpose to every platform she steps on. Crowned Miss Dallas Petite in 2023, guys, Lavonia has graced runways. She's graced the commercials and cause-based fashion shows across Texas, using her presence to spotlight issues like violence against women and bullying prevention. She also has a master's degree in public administration. Lavonia's journey is a multifaceted as she is, balancing a professional background in education with passion for storytelling through modeling, Latin dance, and performing arts. A graduate of the Bella Modeling Acting School, she has choreographed Indian dance performances, produced school theater, productions, co-hosted podcasts on raw, real-life topics, and currently trains in salsa and bachata at Kumbala Dance Studio. Fluent in both British and American accent and charm, Lavonia is not just a model, she is a movement, guys. She believes fashion should not only reflect beauty, but also amplify voice, culture, and cause. Whether she's holding a mic, striking a pose, or spinning in heels, Lavonia leads with authenticity, advocacy, and unstoppable energy. Please follow her journey on social media outlets, Instagram, Facebook, and I think she's on TikTok too, and we'll find that out. I want to please welcome Miss Lavonya. Okay, so I got Miss Lavonya here right in front of me, guys, and I'm super excited about having her just because she's just a good friend of mine and diverse in every aspect of life. You know, she's so talented. And Lavonya, we just want to welcome you and thank you for coming. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you, Lenny. I know you for a while, so thank you for letting me into your wonderful show. So I am very honored and proud. So what else? People know you.
Yes. Well, we thank you for coming because I think this is just a really good opportunity for you kind of to discuss your journey and kind of what you've been through and how you've got started and stuff like that. Now, you're from East India, so tell us a little bit about East India. For those of you who don't know, it's Indian. Like you're from India, right?
Yep. South India, actually.
South India. Okay, so y'all speak different. I mentioned in your bio that you speak several different languages. I think one of them was actually obviously you speak English, and then you also speak. What are the other two languages that you speak?
So I speak 4 languages totally. Tamil, South Indian, Telugu, South Indian, Hindi, North Indian, of course, English, both British. And as you are listening to my conversation, you can tell I have an accent. So it's a British/American because my entire schooling is in a British school and I live in America. So now I have a mixed accent.
A little bit. You definitely don't have a Southern Texan accent, right? Unless you can pull that off just from being an actor. But that's cool, man. I mean, I really admire that, like people that can speak multi languages and kind of bring culture into the business a little bit. And I talk about that a lot because I love models that have diversity like yourself. So growing up, you grew up in India, obviously, and you made it to the United States. Did you start modeling out there in India?
Yes. It was a very small way of not just modeling, whatever you mentioned in my bio, I did everything starting from day one. Like, I think I went to kindergarten. My first stage performance was a dance.
Yeah.
And then so the more and more my school people, the headmistress started seeing my all these qualities. She started putting me every year in stage shows. Every annual day, school annual day, I'll be the center of attraction, just dancing. And I like to talk to people, and I like to anchor too. So slowly from age 5, dance was the first thing that made into acting, and then modeling. So it went from one to the next. That's how
Wow.
it all started.
Wow. So your parents obviously were involved in that, and you had a lot of support from home getting into this business.
Yeah, a lot. Because if I tell them, they might even say, "Oh, you're bragging." But it started in a way where other people started telling my dad, "Hey, I think you should put her in this. Oh, I think you should actually let her dance. So she's doing great." So I still remember I was age 8 or 9. I forgot exactly how old I was. The stage show. It's like an South Indian folk dance. One of the viewers got really emotional. I think that's from his own town or something. So
Yeah.
he went to my headmistress and he gave like a cash award right there on the spot to, there were two dancers and one was me. And they're like, "I want to give these young girls some reward to cash." I really wanted to tell. They really got that. So that's how it started.
Wow. That's just really cool. And it's neat because I had some other people that were on the podcast with me and I had some other people and I love talking to foreigners because it gives a different, perspective of, the journey that you've taken and things like that. And I'm glad that you're able to discuss this with us and stuff like that. So really it was all about the support that you got from your family and the encouragement and it probably I would imagine it brought a lot of self-confidence within yourself.
Yes. Normally, if you think about India, that to South India, not all parents are generally open to putting their young children into like the outside world because they're very cautious because you have to be. If you follow news, India is a very culturally protected, especially when it comes to women, culturally protected in every single way possible until the lady is married, like until the parents put the lady into. Most of the marriages are arranged marriage. So until that time, they will protect. So putting them outside to shows or getting them educated. My dad let me do 2 masters. So it was like for me, I'm very lucky to go through all that, and then now I'm here trying to help other women of not just Asian in every single way. I want to help every if they want to come out, I want to help them.
Right, right. So that's really cool. I like this story because it kind of I can kind of relate to it a little bit because I did have an Indian model with me and her parents were like really strict and the sheltering part that now makes sense because they do shelter you a little bit and she started modeling with me. She was with me for like 6 7 months and then all of a sudden she said I'm getting my dad don't want me to do it anymore and I'm getting married. Right, like I
I
was like what is he
know.
finding you? I think that and it was like maybe like was it y'all do arranged marriages over there? I think y'all kind of
A
do, don't you?
lot, a lot. Now I'm divorced, but mine was arranged too. That's another reason to pick my platform as violence against women.
Oh wow, yeah. And we're going to talk about that a little bit because that's a big topic. Abuse and emotional abuse and even physical abuse. Like so it can be very damaging to people's spirit and well being and things like that. But I imagine when getting back on this topic of your journey and coming over here, did you? I don't know how you after you broke in here and you came here to the United States. What happened at that point?
Like about so like I said, India is about arranged marriage means that has no involvement of especially the girl. Like they won't be asked for, do you like, do you want to? No, it's the self esteem of parents.
Wow.
And it's basically making sure the parents' wish is fully satisfied and also their status is completely shown out because
Hmm.
my wedding happened for 4 days or actually 5 days and there were like 2,000 guests in a big wedding palace. I think my dad spent all his retirement money on that, which I always tell my dad. It's be a role model to future dads because they're going to see you and do the same thing because that's not worth it, you know?
Yeah, you spend all that money, and it's like I could have used that money for something else. Dad, you spent $100,000 on my wedding. I mean,
Exactly.
I need the money. I could have bought a house, or something really nice. And I think that can be that's a whole different topic that we could definitely go into. But
I know we
I
can
think
talk about it, but going back, they will not ask about like whether you want to do it or not. It's a fully fixed arranged marriage, and they see the astrology
right,
and making sure the stars of the girl and the boy are aligned really well. And it doesn't matter what future does the girl have after,
mm,
whether she wants to shine or want to do something else. No, it's once a girl hits a certain age window, which is between 22 or 21 and 26,
right,
they have to do this arranged marriage. Nowadays it is changing, but it is still happening. It used to be a 80-20. Now it's like a 60-40, 60 arranged and 40. People are traveling, it's getting globalized. So people see other countries' vision, like how they are doing it.
right.
So now people are like, okay, I want to choose my own partner. So it goes like that.
Yeah, it's called modernism and the feminism movement, and it's kind of probably affected a lot with India because you're used to your culture and doing the things the way they do it. It's always been arranged marriages for centuries, and now it's kind of shifting a little bit different, and it's causing a whole different thing in society, especially in your culture. So that, I mean, it could, I guess that's a good thing, but however, but so really, like, you got you got here, and you started modeling, but you ended up going to Bella Modeling School, which is a really good thing. And I love modeling schools because it helps you get established in the industry a little bit and learn the
Yes.
basics. So when you graduated from there, did you have any kind of challenges at any point, just even being Eastern Indian?
Yes. Um, Even before that, modeling was always a calling for me before starting a Bella Modeling School. But I would suggest going through an institution is much better than because I have heard many people scamming other like just like that. Okay, let me give you a check of this. Come and if you don't go through an institution, you wouldn't know that's a scam or not. So even before that, modeling was always calling for me. So I gravitated toward fashion, cameras, and movement. But I really started pursuing it seriously after I graduated from Bellum Modeling and Acting
Good.
School.
That's
So
good.
that's where I built a very strong foundation, not just the walk on the poses, but the understanding the industry, like my inspiration came
Right.
from wanting to, yeah, represent women like me, like strong, South Asian, petite. I mean, I'm not petite, I'm 5'6", so I don't know whether that's considered as petite, maybe for
Yeah.
high fashion,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
It's
powerful.
petite. Yeah. That's good though. But so, like, did you face any challenge? So what? How did you? What kind of challenges did you face on that?
Being petite was one. That's
Okay,
where I was
that's
going.
pretty
So
obvious. How did you? So how did you get through that? Tell me a little bit about that. What was one of your biggest obstacles being petite? Did you have a certain story you can tell me about being petite where you were rejected or something like that?
yeah, so the problem you got rejected often based on that measurement because
Right.
the runway world often leans tall, and I had to constantly prove that presence and confidence matter more than height.
Yeah.
So there were auditions where I was overlooked for my size or background. Like sometimes my accent was a problem, but I leaned into my uniqueness.
Yeah.
That I sharpened my skills and I built my brand. I networked hard, and eventually people started seeing me, not just my height. And I invested in myself a lot. So what I did is I was not just focusing on runway or fashion shows. I put myself into. There was a show that happened, I think, late 2023. It was not for modeling. That was my first biggest 3-hour MC anchoring for a biggest fashion show
Wow.
In Plano. And there was a
That's
3-hour
good.
anchoring, and I didn't even know I was able to hold that much time doing anchoring. But I put myself out loud. Oh yeah, I originally went for walking to that show, but the way I talked made the people who were producing that show, they were like, "Can you talk? Can you do anchoring?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, fine." So instead of sticking to no, I came here only to run, do that walk. So
Mm.
that was one of the things I broke myself internally. Hey, you can't simply just wait for the walk part. You have to actually put yourself out there, present your face out there for anything. And that's how my um, cold podcasting came into existence. People started seeing my face a lot. And from there, a little commercial here and there started coming in. And local boutique shops asked me to like do a little commercial for them. So that one anchor show what helped me to go into modeling eventually. So I'm like, don't just put yourself into one aspect. So that was my challenge initially, to tell myself, okay, just don't stick with one thing. Try to be open for anything until you get your own spot. And then I also did a lot of the free photo shoots with new photographers because they really want to help themselves and then help myself. So created a portrait. That way I put myself out there a lot by actually being okay with TFPs, like, time for print sessions without having to. So my first 2 years, a lot of free sessions,
That's good.
but
That's
that
good.
helped me.
And I talk about this on some other shows that I've done, just about finding your niche. And if you put in your head, like you mentioned, you're 5'6", and a lot of 5'6"ers don't do high fashion runway with the 5'10s and 5'11. So you're going to have to find, you went out and found your niche and found that purpose for you doing modeling, which was mostly commercial. And then you started developing yourself and you just didn't get in your head about this and that. You went out and just found it, right? Like, and that's the big thing. That's the magic of this business. And you're doing it. Like that's so much fun. And pause.
Yeah. So I have to answer your other second part of your question, which is
Okay.
rejection.
Yeah.
It is part of this community. It is part of the job. I have learned to take it professionally, not personally. So if I don't get a job, it doesn't mean I'm not good enough. It just means I wasn't what they needed for that specific vision, like whatever
Yeah.
they wanted to create. But I stay motivated by remembering my why and not their why. It's also my, and then I have to put myself into this vision. Okay, I I chose modeling not just to do it, but also to advocate against domestic violence and bullying.
Sure.
So if I put myself very low, as soon as I hear the rejection word, then it doesn't do anything to my purpose. So my purpose fuels me when every door closes. And one of the hardest rejections early on, when I was told I wasn't marketable enough, that hit me hard. But instead
Yeah.
of letting it break me, I used it to glow, and I updated my portfolio, improved my
Yeah.
work, rebranded my socials. Within months, I landed a campaign I had dreamed of. Like it's not like at that point of time, even a boutique online boutique shop is a big one.
That's good.
So for me, it was helping me a lot. And then I went from my social media is also, I'm a very big social media influencer. I do partnership stuff in Instagram. And that year, when I was not marketable enough by one of these auditions, I went from 1,000 followers to 10,000 followers. And then
That's
eventually it's still growing. So you should not go down when somebody says something that's not it's their vision, not your vision.
That's correct, guys. Hey guys, we want you to like and subscribe to the channel today. Please like us on podcast or Apple Podcasts, like us on Spotify and iHeartRadio, and also follow us here on YouTube right now. And really, okay, so now you're looking at that, and you started doing that. And I really wanted to understand because this could be a two-part series because I want to make sure that we get everything that we can get for our listenership out there, so they can understand how you overcame that. So all this rejection, you came out, you went out and just used it against you. You didn't take it as rejection. You actually used it for your own benefit and actually grew from it. And you started developing your portfolio and you started doing these things. You started connecting with people and making something happen and taking action against it instead of just crawling into depression.
Oh, yes. Tell me about it. That made me become motivational speaker too. So I started helping like sometimes teenage girls come for modeling, boys and girls, they both come for modeling. Sometimes they give up after two casting calls, one audition, because sometimes you need to wait for hours,
Yeah.
and that is fine. That's one of the that teaches you patience and perseverance, so you needed to learn out of that. So that made me actually talk to these young set of people who really wanted to get into modeling,
Right.
but cannot. They want their first job to be a big hit. It might happen, but it might not happen.
That's correct. That's correct. Correct. So when you came into all this rejection, if you got any rejection, how did you overcome that? I mean, give me a particular story and experience that you may have had to where you actually had to come overcome that a little bit.
Let me tell you, constructive criticism is gold, and it helped
Wow.
me
Love it.
grow.
Mm,
So there is a constant pressure to look a certain way
yeah.
and stay relevant, appear flawless. But I have learned to define my own standards. So that's how I came out of those rejection points. I definitely take care of my health, physically,
The
emotionally,
health.
and I do not let unrealistic ideals dictate my self worth.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
should be everybody's motto. Like, you should not have any unrealistic ideals, because that will shatter your dreams, not just in one way, in many ways. So I
Yeah.
always show up as the best version of me, not a copy of someone else. You need to be
That's correct.
your own. In Yeah.
Yes. And really
And
what's
yes, constructive criticism. So sometimes it comes purely negative. So you
mhm,
should have to learn to filter it out. And not everyone is going to like my look, my
right.
energy, or my choices. That's okay. You focus on those who support and believe in yourself, you know?
Right. I think a lot of people fall in this trap too, like where they get rejected, and all of a sudden there's an issue, and then they fall into this darkness that they can't ever come out of, and then sometimes they'll listen to other people, or they'll see people like their peers doing things, and they're not doing it. It's not happening for them, and I've seen so many people just fall back because Miss Joan over here has moved forward in their business, and then she's sitting back here like, what the heck, man? I'm just as pretty, or maybe I'm not that good enough. And I have to always remind people, Lavanya, that it's your own race. It's not, and you've made that point without saying it like that. You have to build in for yourself and not for everybody else. You're doing it for you. And obviously, you've got that purpose and you're doing things the way you like to do them for the causes that you're doing. And it's just really cool to hear that. And it's kind of reiterating the things that I have talked about. How do you maintain it? So with all that, how do you maintain positivity and focusing on your goals despite any kind of setbacks that you might have had?
So like I said, you should have short-term goals and long-term goals. So if you have a super long-term goal, staying positive is not going to, I mean, it will still help if you have 100% maturity, but
Yeah,
that's why we are here talking about how to
yeah,
overcome very young children who come for modeling. I don't think they will have 100% maturity. So that's when the short-term goals come in to help you as stepping stones. Every
right,
show, every shoot is a progress, whether it's free or extra, it's a progress. But
hmm,
your long term goal should be its impact. So
right,
I want to model not just for brands, but for causes. I want to be a voice, not just a face. So I
right,
keep building my brand with intention. So every project I take aligns with that mission. And every time I kind of go low mentally, oh my gosh, I have not gotten any projects that's going to pay me yet, then immediately I have to think, okay, listen, you have a plan. This is your mission. So
Right.
if people, let's say people who wanted to take modeling as full-time income, they should
Right.
actually start working way young. Of course, they should go to school, they should finish their high school, they should also go to college, but they should also have half 50% of their time doing this full, it's 100% intention. That's their golden time. They should
Yeah.
take up every single thing that it takes, like especially in big cities. If they can move, if there is a possibility to move, move. Because
Right.
you don't have a family at that time, you don't have anything to worry about. And
Right.
you might have a job, or you would be doing online college. So that will be your golden time. For me, my positivity comes from, of course, my education and my side hustle, which is the modeling part. So I put myself, because I started very late. So that's why I'm here to tell people, if you know what your vision is, start early as much as possible. But in my case, I started late. So Bella Modeling School did help me. And they put me, of course, they even, that's how I know you. So they put me in front of wonderful people who have their own vision, which is helping young and upcoming models. And you need to make sure you network at that point in a very good way. Again, I forgot to tell, networking is a key in modeling. You need to,
Wow.
that's why I said take up every project, even if it's free. I went for a project initially as a production assistant. I was not even walking in that show. But I learned what happened behind the scene.
Wow.
And now I'm able to actually, if somebody calls me and asks me, hey, can you be a PA? I'm like, yeah, because I've done it a couple of times. And now I'm putting my whole thing out loud. Hey, I'm not just a model. I also do this, which put
Wow.
me in an acting short film with another actor. So everything is like networking. It, because I went to that show as a production assistant, I came in to know that, oh, there is a short film. Can you be a big part of that short film? So I went from that to the next step.
Wow, that's freaking amazing. I just love this story because it's just so good. I'm kind of running out of time a little bit on
I
the episode.
know.
We can do it another show easily. But I just wanted to, what kind of advice could you leave for the viewers out there about just starting out that want to do this, and how it can correlate, because a lot of this is goals and baby steps like you were talking about. But what kind of advice do you have some of the, even the more mature models that are out there that are wanting to model or thought about modeling, and even the young ones, what kind of advice can you give them about starting out in modeling?
Be patient and consistent. That would be my mantra.
Yeah.
Rejection does not mean you're not talented. Keep working, keep learning, keep showing up on time. Punctuality is golden,
You.
and tolerance is the key to success. And your breakthrough is waiting. It's just about timing and preparation. Every single individual got a story, have their strength, and have a heart. So if you are patient and persistent, things will come to you.
Yeah, it's really cool you say that, because it's really neat, because like a lot of people don't understand that there is a patience to it, and it's not a race, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And so a lot of people give up after, like you said, like two rejections and from a casting, and they're done, right? Like, but you have to keep being persistent and keep moving forward. I've had so many people give up. I've had people go to 20, 30 calls and only get one booking. It happens. You're going to get way more rejection than that. Lavonia, was there anything else that you want to? What I took away from this, Lavonia, is like having patience and persistency, and just going through the process and going through the steps of modeling and learning how to find your purpose in it. And that's what I gained out of this conversation that we had. And I hope our listeners gained something out there. Guys, please like and subscribe to the channel today. This has been a great show. We are on Spotify, we are on YouTube, we are on iHeartRadio and Apple Podcasts. I'm looking forward to seeing. If you got questions, please email me at host@modelwaypodcast.com. Lavanya, is there anything else you'd like to conclude or anything else you'd like to say?
Of course, thank you, Lenny, so much for having me.
Well, thank
Modeling gave me a voice and I'm using it for the causes I care about. If I can inspire one person to keep going or to stand up for
Love it.
what they believe in, it's all worth it. And you gave me that opportunity to bring that positivity out loud. So thank you.
Guys, this is the end of the show. My name is Lenny Wheeler. This is the Model Way podcast, where we inspire, we motivate, and we teach both new and seasoned models. And until next time, hasta la vista.